So you may have never heard of this law before. It's called the law of exposure. And it's a law that coincides with the law of attraction, and it makes the law of attraction work 10 times better. And this is something that I've been using for many years now, but I've never really spoke about it on this particular channel. I've spoken about it before, but I don't think people really understand how deep the rabbit hole goes with the law of exposure. We are under a grand hypnosis, right? Through the television that tells lies on your vision, to being exposed to the news, the media, the advertising, to even social media and getting notifications on our phone and getting texts and things like this. You see, we put ourselves in predicaments where there's indecent exposure. And basically what that means is we expose ourselves to things that don't take us towards what our goals are. And so I want to start off by saying that you got to have goals, right? You got to have an idea of where you're going. My success philosophy is you need to know where you are, you need to know where you want to be, and you need to enjoy the process to get in there. And in fact, enjoying the process is the success, right? Enjoying the journey is the success. You are successful when you are on the journey to your goal. You've already made it when you're on the journey to your goal. That's my mindset about goals. Now, anything that's outside of those goals that you want to create or manifest into your life is indecent exposure. Now, this is something that you need to limit in your life, not necessarily eliminate from your life. Okay, I'm gonna say that again. This is something that you need to limit in your life, not necessarily eliminate from your life. So what I'm saying is, for example, you might go on social media and there's a lot of negative stuff on your newsfeed. That's indecent exposure. Now, if there's a lot of it, it's going to affect how you feel. And over time, it creates a habit and a way of thinking and a belief structure. And then your identity and your path in life is going to be distracted from the goals that you want to create for yourself. This is indecent exposure. And so what I found when it comes to using the law of exposure, what I've done in the past is I tend to be around the people that manufacture the results that I want in my life. Whether that's hiring a coach or meeting my mentor in person, teaming up with certain business partners, being around the people that lead me to the goals that I want to create. You know, back when I was more in my ego mind, I wanted to become, a millionaire and make a lot of money. And, I had been making a lot of money already, but I wanted to become more successful. And so, I met up with my mentor at the time, who I actually hired as a coach. He then became my mentor. So there's a difference between coach and mentor. But he became my mentor, and I got to work with him in person. And so I was exposed to him and his lifestyle, living in a mansion, having an amazing wife, a kid, making loads of money, teaching me the mindset of money and what people do with money. Even just the conversations that he would have with friends, I realized that it was totally different from the everyday conversation that people have, the general public. Okay, they didn't talk about anything negative. They don't watch the news. They hardly watch any TV. They're always talking about how they can grow, how they can become better. What can we create? What value can we create for people? The conversations are very much different. And so I've put my five senses, my six senses, seven senses, eight senses. I got 5 human senses, but I got 6 senses, 7 senses, because I'm clairvoyant, clairsentient, clairaudient, claircognizant, and I can tap into things. What I'm saying is, when you expose yourself to that and you're feeling these things through the 5 senses, you learn 10 times faster, 100 times faster. This particular mentor literally took me to $80,000 in my first month of being around him. Okay, so I went from making like, $500 a week, $1,000 a week, to making $80,000 in a single month. This is like completely different to, for example, trying to figure things out by watching YouTube videos. You know, trying to figure out how to become successful, an online business owner, or whatever it is that you're trying to do. And you're like trying to figure it out through watching free stuff on the internet. You know, I actually hired someone, I built a relationship with him, he became my mentor. So I manifested all this stuff, right? I manifested all of this stuff into my life through doing healing on myself, through letting go of certain belief systems, certain belief structures, and how things can happen. And that led to me manifesting this opportunity to work with him in person, where he then taught me how to make a lot of money in a short space of time. And the funny thing is, like, I had this, when I actually met him, I had this belief structure that I could only sell my products and services at a certain price. And he gave me a new mindset, literally within the space of, you know, a couple, you know, hours of spending hours with him. He taught me that these things that I could do to increase my income and help more people. And then from there, I was able to sell my first ever $25,000 program. Okay, you're probably wondering, what is that, right? I'm not going to go into it, but basically I had an offer which was $25,000. And when I made my first sale ever, $25,000, there was a total alteration in the way that I thought about money. I realized that large amounts of money can come very quickly and very easily. So that shifted my whole mentality via the law of exposure. Right? I exposed myself to the reality, and then the reality became mine. So let me give you another example. If you were, you know, if you want to, like, a house, you have a dream house you want, right? Maybe it's in 1 year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you have this vision of a house that you want. You need to start experiencing that. Go on those house tours where you get to see what it's actually like. If you've never been in a mansion, you need to start exposing yourself to mansions, right? The law of exposure. Start feeling what it feels like to be in it. You want a car, like a Porsche or Ferrari. I'm not saying that you want these things. I'm just giving you ideas of like how this works. Let's say you want a Ferrari. You need to go to the Ferrari place and open the door and sit in a Ferrari to feel what it feels like being in it. And guess what? You get to take those feelings of actually experiencing it and then using that for your visualization when you come home. Does that make sense? You've actually exposed, you actually know what it feels like to have it now. It could be a relationship, romantic relationship. It could be, you know, growing in terms of your spirituality. If you was around someone with, you know, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years experience with spirituality, exposing yourself to that speeds up the learning curve in you being able to you know, overcome the challenges, the obstacles, the things in your way. And you don't need to sort of learn it for yourself. In a way, like when I say learn it for yourself, it's like you don't need to go through the learning curve and the obstacles and the challenges and the failing and whatever it is, because that person can quickly guide you, you know, to where you want to go, the goals that you have set for yourself. And most of the law of exposure techniques or things that you can do in terms of the law of exposure are free to do. Like visiting these homes, they're usually free to do. Going to the car showroom is free to do. You just have to drive there, right? If you know, the dating, for example, like the dating, you know, if you want to attract your dream life partner, sometimes you can look at it in two ways. You can like be the type of person that just knows you're going to manifest this person into your life, or you can expose yourself to, you know, dating apps. You can go on dates. You can, you know, go to whatever to meet these people. Maybe the type of person is not in a certain area that you're looking. Maybe they're in a library or something, and maybe you need to go to the library more. I'm just kind of giving you examples. The law of exposure. Okay, where are the people that you want? Where are they at? I don't know if you've seen this, but on my wall, like I've got Mel Robbins, Tony Robbins, David Goggins. These are people that inspire me because they have mental like strength, mental resilience, and they're helping a lot of people. And so I've exposed myself to that. So exposure could be as little as having posters on your wall, right? What are you exposing yourself to? What does your environment look like within your home, right? You can even go as deep as feng shui, setting your home up so the energy is flowing correctly in your home, right? The law of exposure, again, the books that you read, right? The videos that you watch on YouTube. Is it bringing you closer to your goals? Do you need to shift that and watch less of what you're currently watching? In my previous video, I made a video on traveling, like how to manifest traveling. And sometimes it's literally just as little as driving outside of your state, you know, exposing yourself to new environments leads to more success. I can't tell you how many times I've gone somewhere and it's led to something else. And chances are, if you're watching this right now, you might feel a bit of excitement or freshness towards doing those new things. You see, the more new things that you expose yourself, the more cultured you become, the more your brain is open to things, and you have new perspectives on life and the way things work. You know, I'll give you an example. I was living in Thailand for 6 months, and I had an iPhone at the time, and I literally calculated how long it would take for someone, you know, earning, you know, the average wage in Thailand, how much it would take to buy the phone that I had. And when I calculated it, it would take them a year's worth of income to buy my iPhone. So the reason why I came up with this is actually I had the phone, I was in a restaurant, I had the phone on the table, and one of the guys was just looking and staring at my phone. He was like, sort of like amazed by it in a way. And so it humbled me and it made me realize, like, you know, I gotta be more grateful in life for the things that I have. So that makes me more cultured, it makes me have more gratitude, which ends up making the law of attraction become better, because you are in a state of abundance. When you're grateful, you're in a state of abundance. When you're in a state of abundance, you attract more abundance. And so it's things like this we don't recognize, you know, how much we do have, you know. And so it's so important to travel. Actually, I started skating, and I can't remember when. I think it was like probably a year and a bit ago I started skating, and I really enjoy it. It's something that I really like doing. Get a lot of exercise from it, get to meet new people, have new experiences. And, you know, just doing this, I've been able to connect with so many people from doing that, you know, making new friends and things like that. And towards the beginning of this year, towards the end of last year, 2020, I actually met my dream life partner just from doing the law of exposure. Okay, and that's the thing, it's something that I naturally do anyway now, but you might have to intentionally do it. But, you know, this one activity led to me manifesting my dream life partner. It's how crazy is that? So it's things like this that you get to, you never know. Like, for example, for me, like, I've met people at skating that do YouTube as well. You know, it's just things like that that could lead to something else. You never know, like, some of the people that I've met may lead to me doing a YouTube video with them, or it may lead to doing some sort of business deal or whatever it is down the line. There's actually more examples of this as well. Like me moving to Thailand, me living in Thailand, actually way before that, I went to an event in the UK. It was like an internet marketing event. And I'd met this guy, his name was Aaron. And, you know, we only spoke for like maybe, you know, 10, 15 minutes, whatever it is. And he ended up meeting someone at that event on that day who invited him to Thailand, to live in Thailand and do some business stuff. Okay. A year later, there was an opportunity like for an apprenticeship to, you know, go to Thailand and all this stuff. And so I had applied for it. Okay, and because Aaron knew me, right, I was the one that was able to go to Thailand for 6 months completely free and manifesting like me living in Thailand. So that was just me exposing myself to an event and meeting other people. All right, this is how powerful, you know, the law of exposure is. I think it's way more powerful than like the law of attraction, even though, you know, it ties together. but it's the most powerful. I think it's the most powerful way to use the law of attraction is to expose yourself. Not just, I mean, you can read books, you can study, you can go through courses. The best things that I found is being around the people that have what you want, but also getting the coaching and mentorship around what you want. But the key is here, you need to have a goal. Like, you need to know what your goals are. You should know your goals off by heart. You should know where you're going, where you're headed, what it is you're manifesting, okay? Because then that leads, when you use the law of exposure, that leads to where you want to be, okay? You don't know how it's gonna happen or whatever. I didn't know I was gonna be living in Thailand 1 year later just through meeting Aaron, right? But I had the intention to become a full-time business owner online. That was my intention. I wanted to work full-time. And because that was my intention, it led to all of these different things which manifested the outcomes of living in Thailand for 6 months, learning all about business, having a product launch where I made a bunch of money. And then I got into like this inner circle where there was like other marketers, the best marketers in the world in business and stuff like this. And I became friends with them. And now I'm exposed to this group of people. And it just led to more and more success and more money. And I was able to become full-time. I've been a full-time business owner for the past 10 years or so. And I've helped a lot of people in the progress become successful at that. So it's even led to me manifesting, helping people and transforming other people's lives as well. But you must know what it is that you want, and then implementing the law of exposure by getting out there, exploring, meeting new people, exposing yourself to the coaches, the mentors, the courses, the programs. Books and courses work really well. My personal experience is coaching and getting around the people who have what you want. And at this time in my life, I didn't know much about vibration and energy and how that affects with the law of attraction, but I was still able to manifest these things. The problem is I manifested all of this success and money and all this stuff, but I lost it all, because my vibration wasn't right, my mindset wasn't right. This is why it's so important to raise your vibration so that you don't only manifest, but you manifest and you keep it, you manifest and you grow it. Too many people manifest and they lose it. I've helped people manifest and then they lose it because their vibration and mindset isn't right. So it's important to manifest, keep, sustain, and grow it by shifting your vibration. So right now we're offering a free energy reading to read your vibration, where it's at vibrationally on the power versus force scale. You should be in the top 5 frequencies. And if you're not in the top 5 frequencies, it's very hard to manifest, sustain, and grow what you have. So going into like a business, going into something that you want to create in your life, a relationship or whatever it is, you want to make sure you're in the right vibration to get it, sustain it, and grow it over time. Okay. And so we're offering a free energy reading below, so you can find out more about that. But it also comes along with a manifestation diagnosis session, which is the call that you're going to get that goes deeper into the reading, and it helps you know the action steps that you need to take in order to transform your life. All the information will be in the description. Just message us on WhatsApp and check out this video here on how to manifest traveling the world. I also got an unlisted playlist on talking about raising your vibration and how to raise your vibration properly and what all of that means. And remember to keep learning, keep growing, keep expanding, and I'll speak to you soon.